Movement phase. In the movement phase, you have the chance to move your units on the battlefield. So, here is the movement phase sequence. Start of the movement phase. Rally fleeing units and perform any flee moves. Select one of your units, take a march test. If necessary, select a type of move, then move the unit. Repeat step 3, each time choosing a new unit. End of the movement phase. Rallying fleeing units. In an order chosen by the active player, each friendly unit that was fleeing at the start of the player turn must take a discipline test called a rally test. If the test is passed, the unit is no longer considered fleeing and must immediately perform a reform models in the unit. And you should remember that all models in the unit are shaken until the end of the player turn. If the test is failed, the unit immediately performs a flee move. Flee moves performed as follows. Roll the flee distance, which is normally 2d6. Move the fleeing unit this distance straight forward. If the flee move takes a fleeing unit into contact with a board edge, remove the unit as a casualty. If move would make the fleeing unit and its move within 1 inch of another unit's boundary or impassable terrain, extend the flee distance by the minimum distance required for the unit to get clear of all such obstructions. If this move would make a fleeing unit and its move inside another unit's boundary, inside impassable terrain, extend flee distance by the minimum distance required for the unit to get clear of all such obstructions. If fleeing models move through the unit's boundary of an enemy unit or impassable terrain, they must take a dangerous terrain test. If fleeing models move through a friendly unit's boundary, that unit must take a panic test after the fleeing unit has completed its flee move. Note that flee moves are often preceded by a pivot. This pivot follows the same rules as the flee move. If you move your units, you use your move characteristic of the unit. If you want to march, firstly, you should perform a march test if it's necessary. March test is applied immediately before moving a unit if it is within 8 inches of a non-fleeing enemy units, and the unit must take a discipline test. If the test is passed, the unit may proceed as normal. If the test is failed, unit cannot perform a march move during the movement phase. Advance move may be moved forwards, backwards and sideways. If advance move is using forwards keyword, the unit moves forward a distance up to its advance rate. During a forward advance move, a unit may perform any number of wheels. If you are using backwards, the unit moves backwards a distance up to a half of its advance rate. For an example, if your rate is 5 inches, you could move backwards to a half of that number. Sideways, the unit moves to either side of a distance up to half its advance rate. When performing an advance move, no model can end its movement within its center farther away than its advance rate from its starting position. When you are making march move, you may perform any number of wheels, and a unit can only move forwards up to its march rate. To perform a pivot, you mark the center of the unit, remove the unit from the battlefield, and then place it back on the battlefield facing any direction, with its center in the same place as before. When performing a wheel, rotate the unit forwards up to 90 angle around either of its front corners. The distance moved by the unit is equal to the distance the outer front corner of the outermost model in the first rank has moved from its starting to its ending position. On these figures, you can see the example of wheels.